GT4 car, and alongside on the front row of the grid, the MP Racing KTM Crossbow GT4 car of Chang Chiang Shang from Taipei. So now's the time to weave the cars, get heat into the tyres, and reflect on qualifying from this morning and free practice. Chan Chiang Sang in the KTM was quickest first time out yesterday, and in second free practice as well. David Pun was left to be in second place, and that order reversed this morning when we had our 20-minute qualifying. So off they set on the formation lap. One BMW right at the front, two BMWs at the rear, the medical cars with the lights on, no light on the safety car at the front of the field, head their way down into Lisboa, and an opportunity as well to see the huge infrastructure which is put on for the Macau Grand Prix. Those two very, very large TV screens for those that are able to watch in the grandstand. A little bit jealous of them being able to watch so close to the action, and there are points around the circuit here at Macau where you do get an incredible feeling of speed from the cars, and in a normal year, of course, from motorcycles as well. Quite stunning to watch them trackside, a real treat for the spectators in the multiple grandstands around the circuit. Welcome along, everybody. This is the Macau Grand Prix, the 67th running of the Macau Grand Prix. Started in 1954, and it is one of those motorsport challenges that is such a privilege to succeed on, and many have sampled that, and it becomes a little bit of a Moorish feeling to do well at Macau. And once you've sampled success, you want it again and again. We'll see that a little bit later on from the likes of Rob Huff competing in the qualification race for the Macau gear race a bit later on this afternoon. For now, it's about GT cars, and as they head up through the tight and twisty section of the circuit, through police, and well, we said it was a bit Moorish. That is Moorish, the right-hander that catches so many out, and Donna Maria, the left-hander that you're looking at now, heading up towards the Melco hairpin. Line astern, single file around Melco, down into the quick part of the circuit. It opens up now through Black Sands onto Fisherman's Bend, the right-hander. I'll bend the final turn, and huge thank you to all the teams and drivers that have enabled us to have such a healthy grid for our local support races this weekend. 24 cars we had for the Macau Touring Car Cup. Now we turn our attention to a very healthy grid for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. Rounding the final couple of turns, the safety car, if happy with the formation of the grid behind, will pull over to the left-hand side of the circuit in order to make an entry into pit lane. To leave them, that manoeuvre is done now. So to leave them on their own to get this second race of the Macau Grand Prix weekend underway. Pole position is David Pun alongside the KTM Crossbow of Chang Chiang Shang. and we are soon to get the race underway. The Mercedes and the KTM Ginettas on the second row of the grid, and we are racing down towards the first turn. Through turn one they go, and it is the pole position car, the Mercedes of David Punn, that has the advantage. The KTM flashing headlights, oh, that's certainly not going to be the way to get past, but it certainly might be a bit of a distraction for David Punn in the Mercedes. Rest of the field make their way through, all behaving themselves thus far, and the top two have been a class on their own this weekend thus far, and continue to be a class on their own as well. Number one, Dicky Chung, having a good battle there as they go on the run down towards Lisboa, up towards San Francisco, up San Francisco Hill, towards hospital and maternity. That's the race leader, David Punn, quickest in qualifying this morning, and first away when we got the race underway through Teddy Yip. And David Punn, car number 9 championship, the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup, comprises G55s and has proved up to Moorish through Moorish Corner, and apparently driving very much within himself, not hugging the barriers or the walls. Can't afford to there. The tightest parts of the circuit on the final twists up towards the Melco hairpin. Confirmation of what we told you, that the gap at the end of lap number 1 was almost 3 seconds between David Punn and Chang Chien Chang. Lei Kit Meng in the Ginetta in 3rd place. That's your podium positions at the end of lap 1. Right the way down the order. Proper battle between drivers from Macau and Hong Kong, each pretty much in numbers equally represented. 2 laps complete now in an 8-lap race for David Punn. The advantage we'll see in a moment. Not surprisingly, David Punn has put in the fastest lap of the race. The gap has extended as we see the number 30 car coming to a stop out on circuit, and the yellow flags indicating that for everybody else. That's Mok Si Wang in the Z Challenger racing with PRP Lotus Elise. So the gap, as I was saying, has now extended to almost 4 seconds at the end of the second lap. Such is the supremacy of David Punn on day 2 of the Macau Grand Prix. It was the KTM Crossbow that was indicating it might be supreme here this year. Yesterday in free practice, but today the Mercedes has risen to the occasion seemingly. Having a look at that car lock in his Lotus Exige. Waved yellow indicated there, and a safety car board I saw in the background coming out as well. So yeah, the car of Mok Si Wang, I'm guessing, is the reason for the safety car intervention and the requirement for that car to be recovered. That's why we've got the safety car deployed for the 2nd time today. Deployed once in the Macau Touring Car Cup race, and now deployed in the Greater Bay Area GT Cup race. So all of them getting the message via the safety car boards at each of the marshal posts, and the yellow flags as well that indicate that work is going on around the circuit. So safety car will be waiting to pick the field up when they get round to start finish straight. That's the exit of Moorish Corner. Donna Maria, long left-hander, is next. It's the 39 car of Li Yen Han, Parkview Motor Ginetta G55. Threading their way around the Macau hairpin and down towards the final sector on the lap of the gear circuit here at Macau. Lei Kit Meng, regular here at Macau, and a Macau driver in a support race at Macau is a privilege for any racing driver. David Pun leads the field in the Mercedes from the KTM Crossbow. Top two come through up towards the timing beam. There will be now 3 laps in the book. The fastest lap of the race had gone the way of race leader David Pun, 2:36.569. Mercedes leads from KTM Crossbow and the BMW. The 2 is down there with the lights on and picks up the field. So now, on one of the wide parts of the circuit, opportunity to weave the cars to try and keep the heat in the tyres if they can, to give themselves the best opportunity for the restart as and when that may be. I don't think this should be too long an intervention. If it was for that car of Moxie Wang, then might be pretty quick to do that. Didn't look as if the car was damaged or needed any particular treatment, but just looked as if the car had stopped from what we could see. But the process of keeping heat in the tyres by weaving the cars from side to side, you can do it on the wide bits of the circuit, which is where they are at the moment. Very, very quick part of the circuit as well. Turn 1 at Reservoir, turn 2 at Mandarin, very quick at Mandarin, and quick on the run down towards the braking area for the right-hander at Lisboa. 4 sectors we have on our timing screens this year. So the middle section, essentially, as always it has been, broken up into 2 sections, and then the very quick first and last section. So that's the view from the Marshall Post at San Francisco, the bottom of San Francisco Hill. It's quite amazing if you are lucky enough to be at Macau and stand on the circuit at night time with normal traffic using these roads for everyday activity and the very vibrant nightlife of Macau. You can stand at the bottom of San Francisco Hill. You've obviously got the barriers in place, and it really is quite a wonderful feeling being part of this event. And as a spectator, you do feel very much part of the event, this festival of motorsport that we have, celebrating the Macau Grand Prix, the 67th running of the Macau Grand Prix. It's number 95. Moxie Knock in the Z Challenger Racing with PRP. Yeah, needed a recovery vehicle with crane to lift that car to safety. Mention once again to the supreme professionalism of the crews that work on the recovery vehicles and the marshals and the officials. They know what they're doing when they're recovering cars and recovering from incidents out on circuit. They're able to get the circuit raceworthy so very, very quickly. And it's a pretty specific job to Macau and the demands of the gear circuit. safety car lights are still on the 2, the BMW at the front of the field. So BMW at the moment leads Mercedes, and a KTM Crossbow in 3rd place. The race leader is the Mercedes of David Punn, car number 91, the GT4 Mercedes AMG Team TRC Mercedes of David Punn. So at the end of this lap, they're going to be completing half distance. They've ticked off 3 laps already, and 2nd lap behind the safety car to effect the recovery of the number 30 car of Moxie Wang, Lotus Elise. And I think when we saw that recovery taking place, it looked as if it was about to be completed. So whether the lights go off on the BMW, the 2, in a moment, and we can get racing for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup underway, we shall see. Or will they require another lap behind the safety car before we can go racing once again? Critical operation, of course, to try for the restart to maintain heat in the tyres, and they are all trying to do that. They've got the impression that things are going to get back underway now, and that's why you see the really quite vigorous weaving for the KTM Crossbow, now for the Mercedes of David Punn, for the Ginetta of Lei Kit Meng, and maybe they've got the feeling that the safety car will do one more lap with the lights still on. So one more lap behind the safety car, half distance completed, and it is completed behind the safety car. On they go. Mercedes from KTM, from Ginetta and Ginetta. So David Punn from Chang Chien Shang, from Taipei is Chang Chien Shang, and said it quite a few times over the course of yesterday and today as well, that this year for the Macau Grand Prix weekend, it's a different look, a unique opportunity to really showcase what China and Macau and Hong Kong, the whole of the area, has to offer in a very, very vibrant motorsport world in that corner of the world. And this weekend is the perfect global platform on which to display exactly what's on offer, and it is quite superb. And it has to be added, so far, and we are beyond halfway in the 3-day weekend of the Macau Grand Prix, normally 4 days, 3 days in 2020, they have been exceptional, and we have seen a very, very sensible avoidance of incidents on the gear circuit. You need to treat this Macau circuit with supreme respect, and it really can bite very, very hard indeed. And thus far we have had seemingly very sensible avoidance of those. As you can see, the back of them very, very solid, black and yellow arm coat, and the walls, an immovable object on the gear circuit. On lap number 5 they are now. Just remind you that it was David Punn, the race leader, car number 91, that had put in the fastest lap of the race, 2:36.569. The rest of the field head up towards the conclusion of Sector 2 in through Police, through Moorish, and Donna Maria, the left-hander, Melco, the hairpin. Lap number 5 this is, behind the safety car for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. Won last year by Kevin C in a Mercedes-Benz, and it's a Mercedes-Benz that leads at the moment. Lake Meng, who is currently in 3rd place, was just off the podium in last year's Greater Bay Area GT Cup race, finished up in 4th place in 2019, and in 2020 currently running in 3rd place. And the reason I mention that, he's a Macau driver, and therefore on the timing screen proudly indicated with the Macau flag next to his name. Race leader from Hong Kong, 2nd place from Taipei, and the power goes down for David Punn in the Mercedes AMG, and that is the conclusion of lap number 5. The BMW safety car is in pit lane, and we are racing once again. Superb restart by David Punn, already with the advantage over the KTM Crossbow GT4 car in 2nd place of Changqian Shang. On the run down towards, what a beautiful sight that is, as the cars with rubber which is getting back up to full temperature. The car, just let the car slide out and make the most of all of the tarmac through that very fast section through Mandarin down towards Lisboa, and then the climb up the hill. Hospital on the left into maternity, and Teddy Yip, that's the 3rd place car, the Macau driver. Lei Kit Meng, Ginetta G55 GT4 car, and Dickie Chung in the RPM racing team, Ginetta G55 there as well. 2nd place, just through your view, and the bottom of the Solitude S's at post 12 earlier on today was having to display the slippery surface flag. David Punn coming out of Moorish, KTM of Changqian Shang in 2nd place. Donna Maria, the Mercedes and the KTM go, and it happened after the initial start to the race, and you're seeing it again now as well. They are so very much in a class of their own this weekend. Quite a gap already until we have the 3rd place Ginetta of Lei Kit Meng. And this will be up to the conclusion of lap number 5 in an 8-lap qualification race for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. Of course, this is a qualification race, so although they have a podium and a trophy, it is to determine the grid for the longer 12-lap race for tomorrow. So It is only grid positions that they are essentially fighting for, but a win is a win at Macau, and David Punn looks pretty determined to be on pole position tomorrow and also to take the top step of the podium in the Greater Bay Area GT Cup. Once again into Lisboa, San Francisco, and oh dear, has it made contact? I don't think it has. That's the 48 car of Quifiying, Joe Kwok. His little black and gold Lotus Elise. And did it just scrape the barrier? Oh, just. What a shame. Certainly too tight for two cars to, certainly two GT cars to get side by side, but no overtaking allowed there. It's the number one car of Dickie Chung in his Ginetta G55 GT4 car. He's got his mirrors pretty full there. The timing screen updates itself. All of a sudden it fires back into life. And you're looking at Dickie Chung in the pink and white RPM Racing Team Ginetta G55 GT4 car. Close attention from the 39 Li Yen Han Parkview Motor Ginetta G55. Great little racing cars, the G55s, very sturdy, able to put up with a little bash here, a little bash there. The bodywork designed to, if it happens, if contact happens, come free and allow the car to continue. Very sturdy cars indeed. Great Ginetta battle that. As we get back towards the race leader, and he's going to be in traffic very, very soon. And on this section of the circuit, traffic can be a little bit difficult. 89, first car to be dealt with, Learn Chirk Nye, and his Lotus Elise. Car number 89, dealt with very, very quickly and simply by David Punn, the race leader. Blue flags in the background indicating that the faster car is coming through, so just notifying those cars that are potentially about to go one lap down that the race leader is on his way and he's not going to be slowed down, that's for sure. David Punn, the Mercedes of David Punn, the 91 car, up towards Donna Maria once again, and towards the Melco hairpin. Having got very well through the traffic, maybe the KTM crossbow of Chang Chien Shang, not having the better of the traffic. The gap certainly appears to have extended itself a little on this lap, but this has been exemplary by David Punn. Absolutely fantastic race. Safety car intervention, but he got the start of the race spot on. And he's got the restart after the safety car headed into pit lane perfect as well. David Punn up towards the start-finish line here, and the checkered flag for the win in the Greater Bay Area GT Cup qualification race. So David Punn takes the win. Second place, it is the number 88 car of Chang Chien Shang in the KTM Crossbow GT4 car, and the rest of the field come through. See the marshals applauding the top two as they make their way around the circuit on their slow down lap. And a bit of an update on the weather, a bit more overcast today, up to 24 degrees now in Macau. Was a little chance of rain this morning, but only a couple of little spots of rain, nothing to upset the day. sometimes when it rains here at Macau, it can properly rain. So we have a fully dry circuit as they negotiate that very, very tight hairpin at Melco. Head down towards Fisherman's and our bend, where they'll pull into pit lane, head into Parc Fermé, and then we will have a small gap before the podium presentation for race number 2 of the day. But a very dominant win there for David Punn in the Mercedes-AMG GT4 car. 2 exceptional cars, aren't they? We've got quite used to over the years seeing those incredibly impressive Mercedes, this GT4. We see the GT3 cars in the Macau GT Cup. Podium will come up after the drivers have a moment to celebrate in Parc Fermé, and top 3 drivers will all have a moment to get out the car, reflect on the glory of a win, albeit the qualification race, not the overall race, but there will still be joy and jubilation, and quite right too, for David Punn, for Chan Chien Chang in the KTM. Rest of the field making their way into the paddock.